Alright, dickheads, welcome back to Practicing Portraits, an artwod roadmap. Artwod, okay, I'm a dickwad, yes, there you go. Fucking, I need to, like, get these intros proper, but anyways, artwod is the only reason I can draw like this from imagination. Yes, that is a coffee stain. I just had a fucking catastrophe about, like, a minute ago. Bro, I don't know if anybody else has this, but, like, I picked the cup up, and then my hand just spazzed, and I fucking dropped everything. I was like, what the fuck? It's a good thing only this happened, in terms of a stain on the drawing. But anyways, I can draw like this from imagination. Artwod is the best art platform in the world to teach you how to draw from imagination, right? They give you the work, not the shortcut, in terms of actually understanding forms and manipulating forms, right? And I just do 100 times the work that they require, because that's the only way to get good at anything, is to do a fuck ton of it with intent, right? And I've been drawing for 3 years and 6 months, and the fundamentals is 90% of my practice, right? Please draw along with me. Come on, get your pen, get your paper, draw along, draw along. Let's put in a lot of effort together, because that's the only thing that matters and all we can control, right? So yeah, what are we doing? We're looking at the Artwod Portrait Roadmap. No shit by the fucking title, right? You can read and I can type, so we're on the same page. But yeah, we're doing the Artwod Portrait Roadmap. We're looking at a portrait, i.e. like a face, whatever. I just have a bunch of different ones on Pinterest. I'm looking at this guy, looking from the bottom angle right now, because we're interleaving, changing the angle as often as we can, right? I'm doing something called the 50 rep rule as well, where I'll do well, in Artwad's exercise, they only have you do 3 repetitions, and that doesn't teach you shit. Three repetitions doesn't teach you anything. And they have grind nodes, by the way, like per every section or like per every few lessons, which is basically just the many repetitions that you should be doing. But even their many repetitions are only 20, right? And the funny thing is, like, I know, and Antonio's mentioned multiple times, like, he's done thousands of repetitions, like, in regards to drawing the figure, right? He's like, bro, I've drawn thousands of mannequins, right? But that's intimidating to the sweet little baby that is the beginner, because the beginner doesn't want to think about the fact that they not only have a bunch of repetitions and a bunch of work to do. They want to be like, no, I'm different. I can do this in 5 repetitions, right? I can get exponentially better in 5 repetitions. No, you fucking can't, right? But either way, Artwod gives the amazing work. I just do a shit ton of it because the exercises they give and everything they teach you is amazing and it is going to teach you how to draw from imagination, and it will make you very aware and able of playing with form, right? It's why I've never drawn, like, I'm really shit at organic shapes, as you can see, but I've been focusing a lot on hard surface for the past year. So, and I drew a jet from imagination by just looking at a jet. This isn't a good jet, by the way. Like, there's a lot of issues, but the point is, I drew this from memory and recall, right? Over the course of only studying like a jet for 20 minutes over the course of a week, right? And then I did this. It took me like an hour to do this. I'm shit at organic shapes, but even then I can vaguely understand like how things should be placed. Never drawn wings before on a dragon. Yeah, this is a dragon. I know it doesn't look like a dragon, but yeah, Artwod's fucking amazing. You just have to do a lot more work than they require of you, because that's how learning works. You just have to do a shit ton of repetitions. I mean, even Ongjen, right? OGNJEN, I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name properly, Sporin, right? He was one of their concept art teachers. And he, by the way, I'm already thinking while I'm drawing, or while I'm talking, by the way, because drawing is thinking, right? Drawing is thinking. He had a video talking about how to study and stuff. And in one of the comments, I mentioned this last video, but he literally said his studies are in the 1600s. 1600s. You think Ongjen is just like, oh yes, I'm gonna do 3 repetitions, call it a day? No, all right. Like Artwod, it makes sense. They're trying to cater to beginners in the general like retention sense, because beginners are the ones, because before they used to be like super hardcore repetitions, right? Now they transferred it to the grind node, so they've labeled it as something like, oh, if you want to do extra, here's your grind node, right? But like they understood the value of repetitions, but that wasn't getting them, the click-through rates, the fucking people staying on their pages, the actual I guess retention that they were looking for, which makes sense because again, beginners are pussies, right? Myself included. When I was a beginner, I'm a bit more of an advanced beginner now, right? But it's all mindset thing. Anyways, draw along. Let's put a lot of effort in, right? What are we doing? We're doing the Artwod portrait roadmap exercise, where we look at a reference, put the references, the portrait in a box, put a sphere inside the box, put center lines inside the sphere inside the box, right? Basically, right now I'm really trying to focus on just constantly envisioning this, right? And yeah, this. Like, I'm trying to see the box, I'm trying to see the sphere, right? Still trying to like be able to visualize the sphere, probably trying to see the center plane. This is the main thing, right? Obviously that means I have to see this center as well, right? And then I'm trying to see the ellipse inside the center planes, right? Because this is really important to be able to see. And again, I know I'm drawing everything, but to be able to see this, right, is very, very, very important, because this is the part that allows me to understand the 3-dimensional nature of the form that I'm drawing, right? And this is like what I need to constantly cycle through in my mind, because art is a working memory skill. If this seems very complex to you, Wow, welcome to draftsmanship. What a shock that learning how to translate 3 dimensions on a 2 dimensional plane, i.e. a piece of paper, takes a shit ton of cognitive effort and completely taxes your working memory and requires you to hold and juggle on multiple things in your mind at the same time, right? Genuinely a fucking shocking revelation. And I'm not even being sarcastic because when I was a beginner, it took me like a solid couple months to be like, oh, drawing is thinking. Because even putting down a line, doing this, right? That took so much effort. Just that, by the way, literally this type of line in the beginning. To do that, and to, let's say, like, okay, I want to extend it. Like, I want to go from here to here, right? To do this, so much fucking effort, right? Because you have to be like, I'm starting here, I'm ending here, I'm visualizing it, and while visualizing, I'm also applying while visualizing. So first I'm visualizing, already very difficult, just that's thinking. And then also continuing to think about that visualization while drawing, and I fucked up. And I fucked up. And I fucked up. Oh, I didn't even start at the right part, and I fucked up. Q 100 fucking times this happens, minimum, right? In every single angle possible. So hundreds and hundreds of times. That is the same amount of effort that I'm doing right here, by the way. Same shit. Probably a little bit less, because obviously as you get better, you learn to put more effort and get better. But anyways, like, I'm really trying to think about the sphere right now and the center plane. I'm getting a lot better, I've noticed, in certain angles. I'm building the schema, right? Because this right here, constantly changing the angle, is a stressed angle is a stress test of my schema, the mental model that I'm building, which is these dozens of calculations, right? These dozens of calculations, which of course the face rests within, right? And this isn't even me, I'm not even focusing on portrait right now. We're building the mental model, which is why this next to 100 parts is purely, I'm going to presume 100 parts, because this is the same difficulty as first putting an ellipse inside a plane that it was in the beginning for me, right? Like, that is a fucking horrible box, but hopefully the point is made clear. It's the same amount of cognitive effort. So yeah, it's all cognitive effort, it's all working memory, it's all extremely difficult, and it should be, right? None of us deserve to have the result of something without putting in the work that is difficult. None of us. Nobody is above work. All right? And nobody is above enjoying work, by the way, because we can enjoy this. How do you enjoy it? By you focusing purely on the effort and just trying to put as much effort as possible in the thing you're doing. Like right now, I'm putting a fuck ton of effort on trying to visualize the sphere and also trying to visualize, encompass the sphere inside the box, the perfect cube in perspective, right? And that's it. Just the effort and constantly attaching dopamine to the mistakes that I'm making, right? Constantly. And again, I'm really trying to see the overall box. I'm trying to zoom out because my mind keeps gravitating towards just seeing this wireframe, like seeing this skeleton, right? Like that. But I need to see this entire thing. Like, I need to see this. Like, that's the first step. I need to be able to see this, and then obviously the center line, right? And then obviously then the center plane, the center plane, the center plane. Like, yeah, I can draw it, but to see it, I need to see it, right? Before I even put the box down. So I'm struggling right now. My mind cannot see anything. I'm genuinely, holy shit, I can't see anything, bro. I'm trying so hard, but my head keeps doing a little jiggle to the camera, a little bobbing it with my forehead, right? But I literally cannot see anything, and this is already I've hit output regression because again, my brain's trying to update the software in the background. Like what we're doing, what I've been constantly doing for the past 100 hours, and what I will continue to do for the fucking next 100,000 hours. I'm not going to be able to draw for 100,000 hours in my lifetime, but whatever, like the next 20,000 hours over my lifetime, right, is just constantly trying, and constantly being in output regression, right? Now you might be wondering, what is output regression? Output regression is when you are, essentially, your inputs are really high, right? You're really calculating, and I'm trying to zoom out. The biggest thing I've noticed in general is I do better the more I zoom out. Also, this angle is a bit too extreme compared to the one in the reference, but it's okay, right? But output regression is when you're constantly trying to, when your inputs are really high, right? Like you're putting a fuck ton of effort in, like I am now, to see, to do, hold up, I need to shut the fuck up. Which angle is this in? Oh, okay, yeah, it's in that bit of a curved angle. Oh, not curved, but it's a slanted angle. Output regression is when you're putting a fuck ton of effort in to see the thing, to do the thing, to apply the thing. Like you're putting a lot of effort in just to visualize, calculate, understand, logic, think. You're basically putting a lot of effort in your working memory, because art is a working memory skill to think. Right now, not only am I trying to see the box and the sphere and the center lines, which I've been unable to see, by the way, right? But not only am I trying to see that, especially the sphere and the box that's encompassing it as much as possible, I'm also trying to zoom out. I'm really trying to zoom out. So my brain is already trying to calculate, let's see, I'm trying to calculate this cross axis and this center line. I'm trying to keep the box in total, right? That's already like what? 3 to 4 things, right? And I'm also trying to see the sphere, and I'm also trying to see the center plane, and this center plane, and then the ellipse inside each center plane, right? While also ensuring that the proportion is consistent to the sphere, right? And see, like, and all that I'm trying to do while I zoom out. I'm trying to do all of that while I zoom out. This is extremely uncomfortable. Genuinely, and see my line suffered there. But this is extremely uncomfortable, and this is good. This is exactly where you want to be, by the way. This is literally where you want to be. Like, if you're not here, you have the opportunity to try and be here for as long as possible, right? And again, I'm gonna continually ghost, and while I'm ghosting, I've already lost the while I'm ghosting the sphere, because ghosting is the bridge for your motor cortex to and your prefrontal cortex, right? So your motor cortex is obviously like everything you're applying with your hands, your fingers, your shoulder, whatever the fuck you're using, right? Like, it's the application process, the part of your brain. And then the prefrontal cortex is the spatial reasoning. Prefrontal cortex is what's responsible for the heavy spatial reasoning, right? And you might be wondering, like, okay, well, how does this all work, right? Well, your brain uses something called astrocytic glycogen. These are your glycogen reserves, your energy reserves, right? Your prefrontal cortex, when it comes to intense spatial reasoning and visualization, uses the vast majority of these resources, right? Which is why line, as you can see, suffers, which is why I constantly keep losing the perspective, right? Again, I just lost the center plane again in the ellipse inside of it. I just lost this horizontal center plane again in the ellipse inside of it. I just lost the sphere, right? I've been losing everything. Been losing, as John Cena once said, right? Fucking shit joke. But, and I'm constantly trying to zoom out, right? And see everything. And the main thing is, like, before I even put these line downs, I'm just line downs, what the fuck, lines down, right? Is I'm trying to see, especially this, what I said, like, I'm trying to really see the sphere, because yeah, like, and I'm obviously silent right now. And by the way, while I'm narrating, while I'm talking, is very difficult, but I'm essentially constantly losing the sphere, and I'm constantly losing, and the biggest thing is I need to keep seeing the center lines. I need to keep seeing the center contours, right? Because I need to be able to see through the form, right? So that is another really important thing. Like, this ellipse needs to be seen through. Okay, so now I'm gonna draw this line while I'm obviously still zoomed out, trying to really think about the center plane, right? Trying to really I'm zoomed in right now looking here, but okay, I just lost everything. So I need to actually rest my brain, because it's important. When you lean in that much to your spatial reasoning, you need to take a step back and rest your brain. So rest it, please. I don't know if anybody understands that accent. My mic picks up the audio, and it's so weird sometimes. When I laugh, it just mutes it. Anything that hits past a certain decibel, it seems to just suppress it. So when I'm laughing, it's much louder. This is why I miss my old mic, the first 230 videos that I did. But anyways, rest your brain. Oh yeah. Oh fuck. Oh yeah. Yeah, the one thing I would love just for my channel to ever, not to ever do, but just to do is anybody who's here, I would love for art to become or just learning to be something that you are all and this perspective is actually pretty off, but I would love for learning to be something that you all learn to enjoy. Wow, what a profound statement, right? I would love for learning to be something that you enjoy. But I hope this gives you the tools. I hope what I'm saying when it comes to like thinking about the effort, thinking about the errors, I hope this gives you the tools to enjoy, right? Because right now I'm like having a lot of trouble visualizing the sphere. Like, that's another thing. My mental model really struggles with visualizing the sphere, the perfect circle, which is what a sphere is, right inside this box. Still constantly figuring it out, but I think this is okay. And again, like, I need to constantly see the center plane and calculate it, constantly see the center plane, and that means I have to see the center line, right? I'm just basically always trying to calculate, but this is the part where I hope, and by the way, I'm zoomed in on that line, but I'm trying to zoom out. Oh, I'm zoomed in again. I'm trying to zoom out. But this is the part which I'm hoping that, like, I'm making it explicitly clear. It's like, oh, he's just constantly focusing on the effort, and he's really just, like, when he says he's attaching dopamine, he's just doing his best and again, like drawing this line while zooming out is already taking up so much of my cognitive resources that I can't think about the center. I lost the center ellipse here, I lost the center ellipse here, but even just ghosting that helps quite a bit. Just being aware of it helps quite a bit as well, of course, right? But at the end of the day, I'm trying to see, I'm trying to apply, I'm trying to visualize, I'm trying to do a lot of these. So I hope, hold up, this is fucking, yeah, see, I was too like focused on that line there. But I hope I hope at the very least I provide a structure for those of you who, and like a good mindset for those of you who want to understand how they can just enjoy, right? Because I'm zoomed in on this line because like my brain cannot fucking, yeah, my brain is like super struggling there. And this is diverging slightly by a couple millimeters, as you can see. If you can't see, wonderful, you have an opportunity to improve your discernment, your analysis, right? Your ability to see, right? But constantly I'm just trying to, especially like in these horizontal angles, I know my I know being able to like understand the ellipse here is something I need to work on. So I am working on it, right? That's what I'm trying to do, and this is why like I'm constantly trying to ghost something, and even the ghosting can be inaccurate, which is why again you can attach dopamine to that process, right? Just attach dopamine to that process and get the right angle down for this sphere. Because again, what am I trying to visualize right now? Right now I'm trying to see the entire sphere. I think this is a pretty decent sphere. I don't think it's amazing or anything, but it's definitely just understanding. See, like my fucking hand isn't even being able to like ghost it properly. My fingers, but definitely being able to understand, like to ghost this and then to be able to see the ellipses inside of it. That's a huge skill that I'm trying to, fucking my sock is stuck underneath my chair, bro. That's what the fuck, the chair legs, like it's rolling underneath the wheel. That's what I get for having loose ass socks. But anyways, and while I apply, I really need to constantly be thinking, this is really strenuous on my brain, by the way, because like I've gotten rid of a good amount of cognitive load when it comes to the like visualizing the box in of itself, because it's been drawn, but I still need to now think about every single. Now it's like, okay, well, if I've reduced that cognitive load, that means I have to think about these diagonals, this diagonal, that diagonal, this center line, that center line, vertical, horizontal, diagonal, center, and then at the same time think about center plane, ellipse inside center plane. Oh look, that's encompassed inside a sphere, perfect circle, and then look this ellipse, right? Like always constantly understanding how the form is drawn through, right? That's a huge part of it. It's like you need to understand, I need to understand, any of us who are trying to understand space need to understand how the form is drawn through, right? Like, or if not drawn through, but how we reason through it, like what is the other side. And while I draw this line, I'm already struggling to reason, right? But it is amazing. It's just amazing, because if I think about it like this, I have to like take a step back and be like, okay, this is my ellipse, right? And then same thing here, this is my ellipse here as well, right? Like that's basically my sphere. That's basically that's not like super accurate. You can tell like it's not spaced properly, but I'm just trying to get that rough idea of like, okay, this is my three-dimensional space, right? This is, we have to constantly see through it, constantly understand through it as well. And you might be like, oh, his lines aren't bad right now. Nobody's thinking that. But if you are thinking that, it's only because this pen is running out. All right, like my lines when it's a new fresh pen are like these. Like you see, like this gray pen, because the gray pen's fresh, right? It's fucking garbaggio, right? Which is good. I'm glad. Like I like the fact that I always have, and I'm zoomed in right now, so I like the fact that I need to like zoom out and see all the calculations. Again, this center line, that center line. I'm pretty sure this is actually pretty off in terms of the center, but I need to see everything. I'm zoomed in on this line right now. I'm trying to be very explicit on everything I'm thinking, right? Because you need to understand that I keep losing the sphere, I keep losing the center lines, and the reason you might be wondering is like, why the fuck is he even doing this? And like, why does he keep narrating it? It's like, well, when I become an observer to my own skill acquisition, I actually improve my skill acquisition because I'm very cognitively aware as to what I'm trying to do, and I'm able to, when I narrate it, I'm able to be like, oh, okay, like, I'm able to also recognize what's missing, right? What I'm missing, what I'm not doing correctly. Like right now I'm thinking about this diagonal, that diagonal, but I'm zoomed in here. So like, okay, quickly zoom out. Think about this diagonal, that diagonal, this diagonal, this diagonal, this bottom one as well. Like keep seeing that. Oh, look, but now that you're so preoccupied with these diagonals, you forgot to think about the ellipse and the ellipse. Oh, look, now, but that also means you have to think about the sphere, right? So it's like everything. I'm trying to calculate dozens of things at the same time. And explicitly verbalizing it allows me to catch, and I'm zoomed in right now, right? By making that line, allows me to catch all of this much faster, right? Much faster. And that is also like I'm really trying to see everything. Like I'm genuinely trying to see everything right now. But the main thing I need to keep reminding myself, because all these lines end up becoming obstructions, right? So the main thing I need to remind myself, and this is really hard because I'm super zoomed out and zoomed in, which is funny because I was trying to zoom out, but I could just see nothing. And then I had to zoom back in again to at least get this calculated correctly. But the main thing is the fact that like I need to just being able to verbalize like metacognition, thinking about thinking, explaining my thinking, right? Explaining to you so you understand exactly all the stressors my mind is going through, right? Is the fact that oh shit, he's just constantly trying to calculate. Like right now I keep losing the sphere. I keep trying to hold the sphere. The main thing is continuously trying to hold that sphere, right? In order to get this calculation into in order to understand the form that's being drawn through, right? Like the ellipses that are involved in that. Like that's the biggest thing right now because this ellipse is unique and I haven't really drawn ellipses of this size, right? But I need to be able to see through that form. You know, this one again, like drawing large ellipses is something I still struggle with, right? I'm not really good yet at just doing something like this and then being able to encapsulate it. I know I just did it, but that's still smaller than this, and it makes a difference. Like the larger you draw, the more difficult it is for my lines in general, like the line stability, confidence, consistency uh, to maintain, right? But I'm gonna rest my brain now and then draw the features on top of this while I try to visualize the entire fuckery, right? Oh, this is so good. Like my brain is genuinely hurting. Like the thing is, like when I say that like drawing is a working memory skill, that spatial reasoning is a working memory skill, I'm at a point now where my brain, like I feel a pressure. And every session, like in my forehead, I can't really show you my forehead, but you know, if this is my forehead, right? I have quite a strong brow ridge. You know, this is my eye. There you go. This right there, uh, just there's not pain by the way, but just there's just like a pressure. There's just a pressure there, right? That is the extent of which I'm constantly taxing my mind. And this is the part of learning. Is like when you're in that good quote unquote friction, not quote unquote. Sorry, I was gonna say quote unquote pain, but I don't like using the word pain because that is not what learning is. Learning is friction, right? And it's friction we can embrace. But when you're in that good friction, right, where you're like, holy fuck, there's so much I'm trying to think about. Right now, even while I'm looking at this, I'm thinking. Again, I'm talking while thinking about this. Very difficult, right? But I'm literally while I'm talking, I'm trying to envision the ellipse, right? Really trying to envision it. Am I actually seeing it? No, because it's constantly wrong. Again, every time I envision the other side of this, I keep making it like this. It's like that. It just shifts in or it shifts out and then it's wrong, right? And the same with the ellipse. When I try to envision the ellipse, it's like the side I can see is good, but then the side I can't see, or like fucking, it's just wrong, right? And that's good because you recognize that and then you're like, no, fix it. No, fix it. And that's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm constantly just bringing it back, be like, put the ellipse inside, bring it back, put the ellipse inside. But now all my brain energy is focused on that. So I lost the sphere. Okay, so bring the sphere back while you're also visualizing all of that. Oh, look, that's really difficult. The second I bring the sphere back, this is just jutting in incorrectly. This is jutting out incorrectly. So it's like, okay, try to hold it. Now what I'm doing is I'm trying to see the sphere while course correcting the other side and trying to see the correct ellipse inside of it. And this is, by the way, after I've gotten rid of a lot of the mental load for everything else here, right? But what I'm about to do next is see everything and course correct, which is like, technically for my mind right now, it's absolute brink of what it's capable of when it comes to its working memory capacity. Compacity? That's funny, but unintentional, but yeah, capacity. Right? So, like, you will consistently lose things, but it's the act and the effort of doing it, you know? It's the effort of trying to constantly, like, analyze, understand, and just constantly bring things back. You will have the fidelity of what you're trying to visualize flicker in many instances, in many parts of that visualization, in many in many frequencies of that visualization. Like just where it can go wrong, it will go wrong. Our only duty is during whatever we're trying to visualize and calculate, right? Whatever does go wrong is to recognize what's going wrong and try to bring it back. Just try, right? And just constantly try to, like, while we're trying to bring it back, other parts of the visualization that we're trying to hold together, try to maintain that, try to hold it together. That's the only way I can explain it to you. The fact that it is normal for everything to go to shit. Your only job is try to make sure as much of it doesn't go to shit as possible, right? For as long as you can until you take a break, just like now, and you rest your brain. Alright, wunderbar, wunderbar. Oh, fucking love drawing, bro. And now is the even harder part, which is visualizing this entire fuckery. Oh shit, what am I saying? I haven't even done the form. I was gonna go straight into the form wrapping, but I haven't even done the features yet. So now here's the other difficult part, right? I'm going to be creating yeah, I'm gonna be drawing the features. I actually already drew his fucking eyes way too big, but we're just gonna have to make up for it by drawing the other eye also very large. There you go, genius play. But like, it's like while I'm drawing these features and while I'm constantly looking back at the portrait reference, I still, to the best of my ability, and this is something I really struggle with, I still have to constantly see, at the very least, the sphere and the center ellipses inside of it, right? As the basis. And sometimes, just now, I saw it much better, but the thing is, like, the second I look away consistently at the portrait reference, to at least try, because I'm focusing on proportions, right? I'm not really too worried about likeness, but you know, likeness does feed into proportions, of course, right? But like right now, every time I look at the reference and then I look back, I am essentially having to reconstruct. And that is another thing our brain really excels at, is reconstruction, right? Reconstruction is actually where we maintain and solidify these mental models, these schemas, these calculations that we consistently build, right? And again, like, it's very difficult because you have to zoom in on the actual like features that you're drawing while zooming out on the foundation that it lays that what the fuck that it lays on, right? Great chip brand, by the way. Fucking when I was addicted to this shit, right? Really, really, I don't know. I don't know, Charles. Really tasty. This is what happens when you're trying to fucking butt fuck your mind with spatial reasoning, but also try to be relevant and quirky and funny. Ha ha ha, Vicky famming, ha ha ha, right? All that shit. But I thankfully I'm not actually a YouTuber, so I don't have any obligation to be funny or entertaining, right? I could give less of a fuck about any of that shit. I'm here to fucking draw and to hopefully encourage others to draw as well, right? Oh, by the way, like, I completely lost the sphere, but I'm now trying to bring it back, and now this one I'm taking a step back, because like all these forms that I'm putting on top of, which are these simple features, right, that I'm putting on top of this foundation, are obstructions. It's all obstructions. It's all the way up. It's all fucking obstructions, right? So, and obviously, like, I didn't really draw the form accurately either, right? Like, this is not a great way to draw the nose in terms of like a 3D form that's represented. And I'm constantly going back and looking at the reference, and while I come back, I keep making the fucking nose like a pig nose, bro. This is my fault anyways. It's a big problem, but either way, I'm really trying to like calculate the ellipse here, and of course ghosting always helps, right? Ghosting always helps. You can see, like, again, I really struggle with this angle, like pushing in and out from this angle. My lines constantly, like, I just have to always work on them and being smooth, because my particularity when it comes to, and again, like, while I'm doing this, I'm really trying to zoom out as well and see the overall sphere, right? And you'll see, like, because I'm trying to blend that balance of narration while intense cognitive focus, right? And I'm getting better at it, but there are times when I really need to focus that I will be quiet. So, you know, I mean, nothing new there, but just as a heads up, like right now, I'm really trying to see this ellipse, and the entire sphere, right? While also ignoring the obstruction that is these features. And now that I'm filling this fucking nostril in, I completely lost it because I'm zoomed in on trying to fill the nostril in, because it requires focus, attention, and paying, like, you know, like actual sort of, yeah, it just requires me to zone in on like that actual little space that I'm filling in, right? I don't know how else to say it, but what was I saying? I think I was saying something else before, but I don't fucking remember, bro. Oh yeah, look, I'm not here to be like a fucking, oh, we're all a fucking family, the goddamn YouTuber, which is funny because my thing is literally Viggy fam, but that's just like, I guess, ironically, right? Listen, I appreciate the community, the small community that I built, right? It's very nice. It's awesome, to be honest. It's fucking amazing. I fucking literally, I refresh my YouTube analytics every single day to see if there's a new comment. Not even joking, right? So obviously, I do like the whole YouTuber part of it, but I'm not a YouTuber in the sense that, like, I'm not here to fucking beg for your likes and attention. Actually, I am. What the fuck am I saying? I just keep contradicting myself, don't I? I'm not here to be fake, I guess, right? You will either dislike me for being me, or you will like me for being me. There's no YouTuber persona that I'm putting on. Right? I guess that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I mean when I say I'm not a YouTuber, right? I'm not a fucking I'm just not gonna I'm not gonna censor myself or be fake for the sake bars right there, bars. For this, and by the way, like I'm like super zoomed in right now. I can't even think about the fucking sphere in the background, so I need to zoom out and see it again, right? And I'm really like from this angle, it's clear my mental model suffers because I can't. It's really hard to see the ellipse at this scale, right? At this scale, it's really hard, and I'm actually like cheating now because I'm giving myself a little crutch, but yeah, at this scale, like it's really hard to see the ellipse, and my brain is struggling quite a bit. It's genuinely struggling quite a fucking bit, right? And let's see, we're basically done with this guy's lips. Kind of looks like shit. Looks like a lot like shit. But his chin's like right around here, right? He has like a little fat pads, right? Little chubby chin. But oh yeah, let's draw his ear. He is tiny. Why the fuck does everybody have tiny ears? What's going on with all the tiny eared fuckers in these examples, right? That's a really tiny ear, bro. What the fuck? You should get that shit checked. Disgusting. And it's not even a. And he has attached earlobes as well. Get that shit out of here. Disgusting. But yeah. Let's see. That's his ear. And then we got like his jaw here. The neck right around there. Right. That's his chin's like right here. But I guess for the sake of just to make sure that I know what I'm doing, right? And then this is the thing, this is the fun part, is when you realize like, oh, okay, his face is actually angled, right? So I could just do something like this, and then we'll actually be seeing the other ear on the other side, right? Like that, because it is angled. Like you have to remember, this right here, this may not look like much, but the angled, if I were to do the contour, it's like that. Like that's the angle of his face, right? Same thing here, like this is the angle. It's much more pronounced, which is why the box has to account for that. We have to account for that this is an angle, that the face is actually like it's chiseled, right? And people's faces aren't like fucking this and then this, right? It's not a box. It's like this and then this. There's like a degree of an angle here that we have to understand and account for, right? And that's what I've been fixing currently, is to understand that, right? But yeah, and then there's, let's see what the spheres. This is a fucking horrible. Jesus Christ, this made him look like Megamind. I'm trying to think. What is the sphere that isn't here? I clearly, as you can see, I still really struggle with putting sphere, like an accurate sphere inside a box, right? This is something that I struggle with consistently, but. And then, yeah, we have an ellipse. I need to at least try to understand this ellipse. Something like this? No, that's way too small. Something like that. And yeah, this is basically like this entire fuckery is everything I'm constantly trying to think about, right? Let's see. Okay, that bottom ellipse, this is a lot better. Like this definitely is a lot better, right? But you can see like there's a lot to think about, right? Like this entire mental model I'm constantly trying to be aware of, right? And I don't know if, I guess again, my sphere could be inaccurate, right? But I don't know. Is it going way more at the edge? That might be going way more at the edge than I might be making it seem. Yeah, it's like it's a lot more fitted. I don't know. Like I just don't know. So I'm just going to drink some more of my coffee. Hopefully that excess adenosine receptor blocking will make me better. It most likely won't, but this is definitely and the funny thing is I know this box isn't correct because when I look back at my videos while I'm just quote unquote editing, as in adding fucking background music and cropping it to be like this, right, to be like up here, you know, because there's a bit more space usually, so I just crop it to be a bit less space above the page, right? Like I noticed the mistakes I make, but right now, like, because there's so much mental work going on, it's hard to see. But now we do the fun part, right? Which is font wrapping, right? So, and trust me, like, I try really hard. I just don't succeed, really, ever, right? but it's through consistently not succeeding that my brain has to understand that, like, hey, we need to update the mental model, we need to improve our working memory capacity, we need to consolidate and chunk the information that are currently being recognized as individual components, but they need to be seen as consolidated units, right? Constantly compressed. This is why, like, interleaving, right? And interleaving is just changing the area of focus within the topic that you're studying, right? So if you're studying lighting, it's like changing the angle at which you study the lighting, changing the type of lighting, changing the fucking dispersion of the lighting, right? That's just one example. Like if you're studying values, right? Like adding, going from maybe like, I guess like 2 value to 3 value, then back to 2 value in a different angle, then 3 value in a different type of lighting. Like, you know what I mean? Like basically like playing with different shapes, like playing like all these things, right? Interleaving is just from my understanding, is like improving your learning by changing the topic in the holistic area of focus. My holistic area of focus is the mental schema that I'm building as the foundation for which the portrait lies on, right? The interleaving which I'm implementing is changing the repetition, or sorry, changing the angle per repetition in order to stress test whether I actually can build this mental model in any given angle and actually understand the space, right? And then the stress test for the solidity and stability of this mental model in this new angle is this form wrapping, right? Which is like a whole nother fuckery. But with that being said, let's draw. Let's, because this is it again. Like I'm thinking about what I have to do now is like I have to think about this construction and then realize that layered on top of it with depth, right? Layered on top of it with depth is something that also follows the exact same perspective, but now is wrapping around, right? And then that is something where I have to literally, and again, it's not exactly at the center, it's slightly like fucking X amount of millimeters this way from the center, like front, and then X amount of millimeters back, right? And that is, like, that's basically an additional dozen calculations, like this entire thing, right? These are all boxes, manipulated boxes that are being wrapped around. So I have to visualize this, hold this stable, make the size stable, and make it consistently placed. And by stability, I mean like the size, proportion, placement, right? And hold that while also seeing the entire thing, and then while also on top of that, be like, okay, now it's time to draw. now it's time to. Yeah, now it's time to draw this entire wireframe on top of it, which is a stress test. Like, it is a stress test, right? And like every time I draw these lines, I need to keep zooming out and be like, nope, you got to see the entire thing. Nope, you got to see the entire thing. I got to see the entire wireframe. I keep losing the box, so I'm going to keep trying to hold the sphere, because the main thing I struggle with right now while I'm doing this is zooming out, right? So, and getting the angle correct. Like, that's already an incorrect cylinder, but that's okay, right? Because, dude, like, my mind is... I'm gonna be here for a very long time, right? This is literally the next level of the fucking the ellipse inside the plane, right? Or the cylinder inside the box, right? This is the next level for that, and this is just again improving my ability to spatially reason, right? So, and you see, like, I put the box here, but that's wrong because it's depth. There's depth involved, so it's actually even lower, right? And again, like, I'm trying to visualize the entirety of this thing, trying to visualize the entire wireframe, trying to visualize everything, the wireframe, the wraparound, understanding, like the wraparound logic that is nuanced and has depth and separate from my actual cylinder, which is where the elliptical wraparound, or the elliptical contour, sorry, and the box and the center lines and the diagonals and everything follow, right? So this is my working memory being absolutely taxed, by the way, absolutely fucking taxed, because I can't think right now. Like, I'm trying to think of everything, by the way. I'm trying to think about the box, trying to think about the sphere, trying to think about the you know, the fucking XYZ, trying to think about the diagonal, right? Trying to think about the center line, trying to think about the center plane, vertical, horizontal, trying to think about the ellipse, and then also trying to think about the wireframe that's going over that, and it's three-dimensional, right? So it's fucking amazing. It's amazing what the mind can be pushed to and be capable of, right? And whatever your version of this is, I feel like I need to be very clear, because again, I do think, like, I guess I can start addressing all the bullshit people will say when I am really good, right? Which is, because first of all, people are gonna project their insecurities onto me, right? It's already happened a little bit. I can tell people think I'm a little bit too intense, right? But if I am intense, how do you explain me just fucking around, joking around while I do something that is serious, right? Would that not be a contradiction? So that goes to show that you can be unserious in nature and yet serious in application and focus, no? So, and intensity, I'm clearly showing, is sustainable, right? On top of that, I'm clearly proving that intensity is sustainable in 1 hour bouts per day, like fucking clearly. So that's already addressed there. Like, yeah, I'm intense. No fucking shit. I'm trying to be good, right? You have to be serious. You know, does not mean you have to be grim, but you must be serious, as Jim Rohn once said. I love the way he says it, but that guy talks so funny. That's like classic American accent, right? But anyways, yeah, like I'm completely losing everything. So, and again, I'm talking about something completely different. I'm narrating while I'm trying to fucking visualize this fuckery, right? Let's not forget, right? So, I'm trying to visualize the box, the sphere, right? Kind of. And by the way, when I say I'm trying to visualize, you know what I see? This is the box that I see. Like this. It's just random lines, like barely. This. You want to know what sphere I see? Just that. You want to know what center lines I see? Maybe that. Okay. And this is just like, and this is the basis that I'm trying to hold underneath all this, right? Like I don't see shit, bro. But yes, okay, so first critique I'll probably get is you're too intense, right? Right now it's like, why the fuck is this guy just drawing boxes and cylinders everywhere? Like it doesn't fucking matter, or not even boxes and cylinders. Why is he doing such intensive spatial reasoning? That's the first critique. Just a stupid critique, but the first critique, right? The answer is shut the fuck up and building my foundations. Simple as that, right? And it'll result in compounding, just incredibly compounded growth, right? Exponential growth. And again, this is 90% of my practice, and it's why I can do this, right? From imagination, right? It's nothing impressive, but the point is 3.5 years in, this must be decent, I presume. And if not, great, that just means I'm fucking below average and I have to work even harder. So either way I win. It doesn't really matter to me, right? Because the work ethic and the effort is the only thing I can control, right? So yeah, like foundations, that's what I'm building. I know another critique will just be, it'll be the fact that a lot of people who will have worse foundations than me and will not be as good draftsmen than me, not now, 10, 15 years from now, right, will feel probably as if I'm calling them out. I'm not calling you out. I'm here to prove that anybody can become great, right? Whatever their definition of great is, at the very least, anybody can become excellent, right? So let me take a step back actually, because I've been trying to construct this and I can't see anything. Yeah, and another thing is like, people will also say, and again, you have to remember, I'm literally in my goddamn basement yelling at a piece of paper. Like half the time I'm like, oh, my brain, and the other half I'm just like, guys, you can do it, you just gotta put the effort in. Right? You have to remember, I live in my goddamn parents' home in the basement. I'm literally a fucking neckbeard, and I'm just yelling at a piece of paper. I will go crazy and I will make up random scenarios in my mind to make it feel like it all means something, right? And I don't know why my voice is starting to sound like this, but you know, a little bit of that cocaine voice. Actually, this is more of the cigarette voice. You know, I think you're gay. Like the classic. It's not classic. It's very depressing. But the hole in the throat. But anyways, I'm trying to zoom out because I'm really zoomed in on this right now. So I'm trying to zoom out. Right? And let's see. Because I'm trying to make sure that this thing is wrapping around my actual mental schema. Right? So we'll do something like. And again, I'm trying to think about the center plane. Right, this center plane, right, and then the box, and then the perfect sphere, right, and that's the main thing, is like to make sure that I create a perfect sphere with these curves, right, and you can tell like my perspective's already off because it's like this, right, when in actuality I've done this, and when in reality the actual perspective is kind of more like this, funny enough, right, like this is, I've done a bit more straight, but the actual perspective, if I look at the it's a bit more subtle. It's like literally I'm like this. I've done this. This is what it's actually, not this one. That's wrong. But and if you can't tell the nuance in that, that's okay. Again, opportunity to just improve your ability to discern and analyze, right? So actually, I should probably rest my brain right now because my brain needs to rest before I can, and refresh before I do another 5-10 minutes of intense spatial reasoning. So I'll be right back. I'm still gonna bitch about random shit or just rant or talk. Oh no, those are negative words. I'm going to speak my mind. Yeah, there you go. Rest your brain. Yeah, I don't know why. I'm just very cocky that I'm gonna be changing a lot of art YouTube and just the way people do shit, right? I could be wrong, but it makes sense to me. Cause think about it, right? Everybody's always like, oh, quick 10 minutes to mastery. It's like, shut the fuck up. Do you mean do you mean 1,000 hours to mediocrity? Cause that's the reality, right? And again, when your standards are super high, this is mediocre, right? This is mediocre. I genuinely believe this is mediocre, right? And if you agree with me, great. If you think it's trash, even better, right? That means your standards are higher than mine, right? And if you think it's great, good. I'm not saying that you shouldn't think it's great, right? And I don't mean mediocre in a negative way, right? I'm able to completely remove myself from emotions when it comes to an objective analysis of my current abilities, right? And that's a skill that people need when it comes to learning, right? But yeah, I'm like super cocky. I'm gonna be changing art YouTube, right? Because I'm showing the process of becoming. Emphasis on the come, all right? Because everybody will tell you, here's how you get good, and then they'll show like some sped up bullshit, right? And nobody shows all the effort and failures that they went through. So I'm here showing the effort and the failures that you go through, right? And I'm also here to prove to any of you that you can go through every single one of this, and if you put in as much work and effort as I do, right, in specifically your foundations, then you too can become equally as good or slightly better or slightly worse, right? And the end result will still be pretty fucking good, right? Like if you're gonna be like, oh, but talent and this person will be worse than you when they start, it's like good for them. They'll still put the same amount of work in, or they can work harder and they'll still end up becoming excellent because it's a fucking time quotient. It's an effort plus time quotient. It's a working memory endurance, right? Cognitive endurance. Right. Anyways, I need to focus back on this because I'm losing my focus. My focus needs more focus. But anyways, let's see. This is more centered. So I actually have not been able. What the fuck? I have not been able to see the center properly. Right. So I need to take a step back. I need to understand that my center for the actual sphere is right around here. Right. I need to zoom the fuck in. Oh, sorry. Zoom the fuck out and see the correct sphere. Jesus Christ, you can tell my brain's really tired. Yeah, I'm probably in output regression right now because I can't really see much, but we need to understand where the center is, right? We need to understand, and then I need to, again, I'm trying to like get the box down. I can't really see anything, by the way. I really can't see anything because this wireframe adds so much fuckery to my mind. Like it adds so much fuckery. Like I'm really trying to see the overall sphere right now, but let's see, let's just start. And then we will, there you go. My lines really suffered there. You can tell my lines really suffered there, but overall, and it shouldn't have been starting out that curved either, but overall, this is like where my box is now, right? Like I've established my box. And then I need to establish this as well, like this angle, right? Which is this plane. And I need to think about how it actually is in the sphere, right? Because I need to keep, dude, it's like so much to think about. Like anytime I think about this, I need to think about the center plane, and this center plane is actually slightly off center to the what is currently our left, right? Same with this one. I need to think about this wraparound, right? It's bogglingly difficult. These guys, my fucking speech is more impedimented, right? If that is a word, it's being impeded because of the intense spatial reasoning. All the fucking astrocytic glycogen's going straight to my spatial reasoning right now, and even that feels amazing. This is the part where you tell yourself that it feels amazing, by the way, because like this is why like it's drawing is thinking. Like all the work that I'm not doing by putting lines down is the work I'm doing thinking, constantly thinking, right? I'm basically right now I'm thinking about the box, the sphere, and I'm constantly trying to think about how I can draw this curve right here, right? Just how I can draw this curve, because I have to think about the box that it's in. And this will probably be wrong, but I'm okay with that. That's too much of a curve, in my opinion. That, yeah, like I didn't, because if this is my side plane, then it's more subtle, right? And what I did is something more like this. And if you can't see the difference, opportunity to improve. Can I even see the fucking difference? Who knows? Can I even fucking see the difference? But anyways, let me take a step back because I want to be able to reconstruct this accurately. Okay, let's try that again. And again, like I keep having to you'll see like my wraparound keeps being the size of a schema rather than the schema being maintained in its size, and then the wraparound being an additional layer on top of it, which is extremely difficult, by the way. That's why I need to keep thinking about the bless me. I need to keep thinking about the contour lines, right? That create the ellipse, which then the box resides in, you know? Very, very difficult. And this is, again, this is where my center line is. I have to keep reminding myself of that my center line is at a different spot. And let's see, like my center, I've already fucked it up a little bit because I keep fucking up the center, but let's see. Okay, so, oh my god, my brain is like, I can't even explain to you. Actually, I can. I can't see anything. Like anytime I try to calculate anything, like I'm really trying to zoom out, but I keep zooming in, right? So like I'm really trying to zoom out right now. Right now, I'm literally looking here, but I'm trying to think about the box, the sphere, not the spear, Jesus Christ. And then this wraparound, the logic of this thing's wraparound, and then the center lines, right? That's the main thing. The center planes, which have an ellipse inside of them, which is the center line, right? And again, this center line's incorrect, so I've already botched that, but I'm really trying to zoom out and think about everything. And again, my schema is smaller, right? So it is incorrect, but let's see what I can do. Let's see, like how can this wrap around, right? And I'm zoomed in right now on this, but I'm really trying to think about the overall form, right? Really trying to think about the overall form. Like, I'm genuinely, like, this is so fucking hard, bro. Okay, so I'm zoomed out again. I'm trying to see everything again. I'm really trying to make sure that this entire wireframe fuckery is only happening inside this, right? Like, the actual internal schema itself, like the sphere. And this is the thing, like, I have to constantly be aware of, like, where it's all going wrong, and also be aware of what I'm doing to mitigate that, right? So where is it going wrong? Well, I keep thinking that this needs to be a lot wider than it is, but I've already created a decent center plane, an ellipse, right? And now I just need to make sure my sphere follows that as a perfect circle, right? And then it's like, okay, where's my box then? My box is roughly around here. My center line is here. It's here. It's not this, again, because this is what creates the nuance. This is what creates the depth. This is what creates the difficulty, is that this is an additional complicated, right, wraparound logic. It is a manipulated box, essentially. Manipulated, this is basically, I'm adding a manipulated sphere on top of my schema, right, which is a box that has its own logic, right? Like it's this thing, like the gray that you see, like it's basically a cut out box and wrapped around, you know, it's subtracted here, right? It has its own box logic that the curve has to follow around. I have to constantly keep thinking about that and be aware of that as I do this, right? And it's incredibly difficult to do it. And I'm zoomed out right now. I'm trying to make sure that this all makes sense. See, so that was a fuck up because I actually drew the ellipse wrong, but it's okay, right? Or sorry, the edge of the sphere wrong, because this ellipse is already incorrect. Like I've already established to myself that this ellipse is incorrect, right? And I'm trying to zoom out. I'm consistently trying to zoom out, right? And this is roughly where my ellipse should end, I believe, right? But before I do that, let me, and while I'm drawing this, I'm trying to think about this, right? I'm trying to make this wraparound go around like that, like visualizing the correct wraparound. This is what I mean when I say I'm building an intense spatial reasoning apparatus in my mind, a mental model, a simulation that can be fucking rotated at any point at 3 layers of perspective, 3 complex layers of perspective and many calculations within it, right? So I'm gonna rest my brain again, because this is genuinely very taxing on my mind, and I will finish what I was saying, which is probably me just glazing myself, gluck my own dick, right? Oh, I'm gonna be the best, I'm gonna prove everybody wrong, all that shit as always. Wonderful. Oh, it's already been 53 minutes. Well, I'll probably just leave this page as is, like once I'm done. Like this little area, it will annoy me that this will be relatively blank, but we'll just allow it. Right? But either way, again, back to just zooming out, trying to see the entire schema, right? Trying to really see the mental model that I'm trying to build, right? Now, do I see this? Oh, we do. It's like that. There you go. It's very subtle, right? And now I'm trying to understand the ellipse, because I got this ellipse wrong, but that doesn't mean, oh, I got this curve within the plane wrong, but that doesn't mean I have to get it wrong completely, right? Because we still have a sphere, right? And then, so now I have to think about the overall sphere that I'm making and ensuring that I draw something or create a curve that is appropriate to that, right? So I think it would be something like this. And when I say I think, I mean I'm still calculating. I'm genuinely am calculating, by the way, right? I'm just being a bit more I guess I'm being a lot more I'm going a bit faster, not because I'm in a rush, but because I want to see how fast I can calculate and still create something that is tangible in terms of like accuracy, right? So again, like this is already wrong, but the thing is like it's good now that I know like probably this should have been a bit lower, right? Like when I think about the mental model that I'm creating right now, it's like okay, like definitely I should have made this a little bit smaller because now I believe perhaps my sphere is a bit too incorrect, right? And then now I have to think about okay, or like too large, like too lopsided. But I'm like this is also an obstruction now because I have to still zoom out and be like okay, zoom out, what the fuck, zoom out and be like okay, like think about the entire sphere, bro. This isn't the only thing. Like you still got this, and you can see I'm already creating like too narrow of a sphere. So I have to really think about like okay, what is my main mental model, right? Like what is it? I've already lost the box. I'm consistently trying to see the box as well, right? Consistently trying to see the box. And now I'm trying to think about this plane, right? What is happening here? Like this thickness has to match this thickness. So we have to think, right? Like what is, it's probably something like this, right? That is probably a bit too thick, to be honest. Not probably, most definitely a bit too thick. And it didn't curve in incorrectly. Same thing here. And this is again all opportunity for me to be like, okay, well, I'm let's see, it's actually a bit too much. It should have been, yeah, it should have been more like that. And this one, same thing, because now it's the curve, it's the subtleties in the curve. There you go. That would have been a lot better. Still problematic, right? We're all problematic this day and age, but not bad, right? And then again, I need to zoom out again. I need to zoom out, I need to zoom out, I need to think about the overall contour, right? The overall form wrap, and then adjust accordingly. And you can see I'm zoomed in right now. My lines are really suffering. I'm struggling, bro. I'm really, really, really struggling, right? But already, actually, we've gone a lot better at just because I spent so much energy and focus on just visualizing my schema correctly, right? We can see that at the very least so far, we are at least getting a baseline like the size more accurate, right? Rather than my wraparound plus sphere being the size of my schema, now we can tell like, oh look, no, the schema is its separate thing, and this is wrapping around. Wow, that is actually genuine improvement. Who would have fucking thought trying would actually make you better over hundreds of hours and thousands of repetitions? I have to always mention that because beginners are dipshits, right? And I honestly, I guess it's just part of my brand now to be a dick, just shit on beginners. But no, like you're not dipshits, you're just retards. But either way, like you just presume that things will take much less time than they do. But your presumption is fucking stupid, right? Which is what I'm here to tell you. Like, hey, you will be able to accomplish it. Just extend the time horizon, right? And again, I need to zoom out, I need to see and build accurately, because again, we need to see the sphere and build accordingly. And this actually, let's see, I'm trying to really trying to think about this contour, right? Because my mind has a lot of trouble creating the curve that's necessary, like a lot of trouble, right? You can see even now this is not accurate. So I'm really trying to get that subtlety down before I even make a mark. Genuinely, I'm trying to get the subtlety down before I make a mark, right? Because that is where growth will occur, is when I understand the subtlety of what I'm doing, right? This is roughly, I think, where the end of the sphere is. And again, like I'll look back at the video, but like, bro, you're wrong. You might be watching, if you actually are watching and not drawing along, which I hope you are, right? Is you might be like, what the fuck? No, don't put it there. That's incorrect. I won't know. My mind is preoccupied with literally trying to envision an entire box, a sphere inside the box, center lines inside the sphere inside the box, center planes inside the sphere inside the box, ellipses inside the center planes, while also trying to understand the wraparound logic. You think I have the fucking time to also, do you think I have the means, the mental capability, the working memory capacity to also be like, this was also perhaps off by a millimeter. I'm doing all I can to just calculate right now. TBH, fam. So let's see, something like, see, that's wrong. That's so wrong. And I know it's wrong too because the curve is way too much. But the point is, it's trying, right? It's just, and again, I need to take a step back. I need to zoom out. I need to understand the mental model that I've built right? There you go, something like this. And then this is, again, we got to take a step back and be like, okay, where is this box wraparound, right? And currently we'll do, see these lines, like again, my curved lines, are skill, and you can see they're really bad, right? They're really bad. Yeah, and it's off perspective too. So now this, again, doesn't look like it's wrapping around the center properly, which is another problem that I can note for myself. And while I'm drawing these lines, you see, like again, like my lines suffer so much. Even when I'm zoomed in on that line right now, it suffers so much just purely from me trying to spatially reason, and like the line quality will suffer, right? I need to actually take a step back. I need to take a step back and be like, okay, how is this actually going to connect? This actually is not that bad. I clearly still struggled with the center lines, like in general, like you can see, like there's a huge issue, but overall, like proportion wise and like placement wise, this isn't bad at all. Like genuinely isn't bad at all. And I was trying to hold, at this point, anytime I do this, I'm trying to hold 50 plus calculations. My brain is constantly trying to update the software to make sure the hardware can relax, right? Like that's basically what's happening at all times, literally at all times. And that's how learning works. See, and again, like this is my center right here. So I created, that's my center, right? Again, the box I draw could be wrong. I want to be very clear. I could end up drawing the wrong box. Actually, no, this is supposed to be further back. It's hard to tell because my brain's already just operating at fucking max capacity, right? But yeah, this is the box. And yeah, like I know this is already kind of confusing, but I'm really trying to understand it myself. So if you're confused, oh brother. So I may have made it too wide, right? Yeah, well, this is definitely a squat looking sphere, so like I'm completely aware of that, the fact that I made it too wide, right? There you go. That's the box that I was trying to envision, and you can see I fucked it up. But overall, like this center is pretty accurate, right? It's pretty accurate. It's like right there. It's not bad, right? And then you jut out, and this thing center, this box, right? This center right around here. Then you jut out again, and then this box center is right around there. So you just, that's the nuance I have to understand, and that's what I really focused on this time, which was my goal. So I did actually make a good amount of progress to my goal, which was actually understanding and maintaining the relational depth between the wraparound, which is the stress test of the stability of my mental schema, which is this, right? So, and again, like this, you see, like it's here, there's a center here, and then we're going over here, and then there's a center here as well, right? So it's not the exact center. It's not this. This is not what's being calculated. This is why this is a beautiful test, because on top of this vertical and horizontal center being calculated, right? Like this additional thing is a wraparound. See, and I have to understand the logic of how it's wrapping around. You can see there's probably more nuance, right? Same thing, like here, right? This is also following the perspective, right? And then I have to be like, okay, it's going down there. So this actually I probably don't even see much of. So I think, so I'm still trying to understand it. Like there's so much, but right now my brain does not have the capacity. Again, I'll look back on this when I'm editing later and be like, oh, of course, why didn't you just think of it all? But that's not how it works. And I'm pretty sure any of you who are trying with me are very well aware, or hopefully you're getting more and more aware as you constantly, hopefully you just keep watching every video, keep me on the background, right? But hopefully you're getting more aware of the fact that, oh no, it's just, there's just only so much your mind can take, and it's just constantly pushing the confines of what you're currently focusing on, and the information you're constantly trying to calculate and keep in your mind, right? If it's just line, quote unquote just, because I understand how fucking difficult line is, all right? Again, right, the same amount of effort towards this in the beginning for months on end, for dozens and dozens of hours on end, easily like 100 plus hours, was just this, right? Be like, just the box, by the way, but even less than the box, just the line is like, fucking, because I started pen only and I've been doing pen only ever since. It's just being like, okay, well, I have to think about the line, I have to think about the 2 points, right? Right now, this is completely intuitive. My brain has chunked the information to just be line, and then line, visualize line. It has to be visualize line, make mark while visualizing, and make sure it starts and stops exactly where you want it to in the exact direction that you want it to. But in the beginning, you'll be like, I want to make a line that goes like this. But to even visualize the line that goes like from here to here is going to take as much strain that it's taken me, exact same amount of strain that it's taken me to do this, right? And then while you start, you're going to be in extreme discomfort because you're going to be like, okay, I'm starting here, I'm trying to go here, visualize, 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 and now I have to apply while visualizing. Oh shit, boy, and it's wrong, right? Let's try again. Oh shit, boy, and it's wrong, and fucking cue dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of attempts, right? While you're constantly just trying to be like, bro, I'm trying to visualize the fucking line while I'm making the line. I'm trying to be intentful. I'm already fucking. I already feel so much discomfort just from making a permanent mark, which I know I can't erase, right? And then cue 40 hours later, and you're like, oh shit, boy, fuck, boy, right? So. Trust me, it's the same. No matter where you are, just focus on as many things as you can within that thing, right? And obviously, like confidence, draftsmanship, spatial reasoning, visualization, right? It's all we can do just to keep trying, and you will have your own hurdles within the context of what you're doing. The hurdles of just making a line is visualizing the line, visualizing the intent, being intentional with the line, being confident with the line, right? Not scritching. Make sure like you don't have that. Like if you had the habit, like I did, of just constantly make my lines like this, right? To scritch over it, unconfident line, right? Versus just this, right? To reduce that, to actively fight against that bad habit. So there's already 4 to 7 things, like in your working memory that are just completely put to their limit, right? And then you're like, I have to add planes on top of that, right? So once this becomes like 60 to 70% easier, then you have the mental capacity to be like, all right, I have to envision horizon line, right? Horizon line, vanishing point. Okay, this is plane, right? Okay, cool. And then within that, right, like the next, and obviously like that's also very difficult to actually think about a fucking horizon line and then to think about the vanishing point. For me in the beginning, my horizon line was this big. I'm not even shitting you. My horizon line was this big. Now it's this big. Now it's the entire fucking page. 3.5 years later, hundreds and fucking like 800 hours later, my horizon line is this big. And even then, it's not even constant. Constantly flickering, constantly losing it, constantly have to keep reminding myself of it, right? But my horizon line in the beginning was this big. My vanishing point was like barely seen. The fucking flickering, like trying to like calculate it, was like, dude, how the fuck am I supposed to hold this? How am I supposed to hold the line while holding the vanishing point while also being able to be like, oh, I'm starting from back here? Because I couldn't. I started here. I would hold this, and my box would be right here. I'd be like, yeah, I got it. And it's a wrong box, right? Like, I'm telling you, and there's proof. Look at my fucking channel. Go to year 1 to do playlist. Click on this is a video for beginner artists. You're not alone. Right? Very good, long title. Annoying too. And you'll see. Be like, oh, I completely understand. The beginning. Because I went through it. Just however much you think you've gone through it, I've been there, okay? Like, I've literally been there, and I stayed there, and I continue to push through it, and that experience is what's taught me and turned me into the person I am now, saying it's all about the effort, it's all about the errors, and you attach enjoyment to them. Attach dopamine. You specifically force yourself to feel good, right? Just like this, I've been forcing myself to feel fucking amazing. This all feels amazing. But anyways, as always, I try to inspire. Not really try to inspire. I try to just keep relaying what I know and what I think will help, right? I didn't even get to finish my point about me completely changing art YouTube. But TLDR, right? I know I'm doing something that is basically what I'm doing is I'm showcasing the middle. The middle that all artists try to gloss over and they just say like, oh yeah, I worked really hard. This is what it looks like. And it's gonna look like this for hundreds of hours. It's gonna just keep looking like this for hundreds and hundreds of hours until 5 years from now, 10 years from now, it'd be like, oh shit, the stuff that he's outputting is still his studies and he's still just focusing on his basics and still just getting better. But now it looks like a fucking person holding something and it's extremely detailed and the values are there and there's entire scenery in the background and all that shit. But it'll always be based on line form composition, values, perspective, values, lighting, design, composition. Those are all just very, very, very important cherries on top. But again, for someone who does not have a visual library, being able to draw this, I think is, I don't want to use the word impressive, but I think it's telling of the power of fundamentals and foundations and, applying what you learn. Oh, wow, what a fucking concept. Anyways, I'm kind of all over the place. My brain is very tired. So yeah, rest your brain. Rest for 10, 15 minutes minimum after this, okay? Just lie down in your bed, go for a walk, put on noise canceling headphones. But the resting after your learning bout, where you tried really hard, is where the consolidation and update, the slight updates, the fucking reconfiguration of the things you're trying to learn, the schema, the mental models, right? The chunking of information within your working memory occurs. If you do not rest and you stimulate yourself with bullshit short form content, because you're all fucking addicts, right? Then you might as well have not learned. You might as well have not even done this, right? So if you give enough of a shit about your learning and your art, rest your brain, please. Right? I fucking implore you. But with that being said, as always, I hope you put a lot of effort in. And as always, fuck you for watching. Keep drawing until you give me money.